That's one issue I would like to discuss during this convention as well. That's a topic that they have been talking about it, different organizations. One says that they will, I think they will ban boxers who participate in the league for 2 years. I think Paco doesn't have to make any statement about it. And I think the IPF, and if I'm right, it's taking it 1 year. I think we'll ban the boxers 1 year, whatever it is. I think it's a little bit difficult to do.
The World Boxing Association, WBA, President, Gilberto Mendoza, has officially revoked Gervonta Davis's boxing license following the controversial ninth-round incident in his fight against Lamont Roach earlier this month. This decision comes after the WBA faced heavy backlash for alleged double standards in officiating. Critics argue that referee Steve Willis, the judges, and the technical review team all played a role in robbing Lamont Roach of what should have been his 26th career victory.
Cards. Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinski scores about 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
So,
right.
But you say you don't think he willing though.
Whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Spit fucking around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But you, it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on,
Take no
ref.
time out.
You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next.
Despite having a chance to restore its reputation as a fair and unbiased organization, the World Boxing Association, WBA, disappointed the boxing community once again. Many believe the organization clearly favored Gervonta Davis, who was the A side in the fight against Lamont Roach. Even after acknowledging the human and technical errors that influenced the fight's outcome, the WBA refused to overturn the result in Roach's favor following their official review. This sparked intense backlash from fight fans and boxing professionals, who didn't hold back in criticizing the organization. Now, in a major twist, WBA President Gilberto Mendoza has revoked Davis's boxing license and ruled out any possibility of an immediate rematch. Davis will be suspended for 1 year, serving the full punishment for what the WBA deemed ignorance in handling the controversy.
No studies about it. There's nothing that would say which the pros or the amateurs, which one is dangerous or which one is not. You know, I look forward to having whatever medical guidelines we need to follow and to develop in order to protect boxers. That's one thing I'm really concerned on this matter and not jump ahead, because I do believe that the International Olympic Committee allows professionals to participate in different other sports.
At first, the ruling wasn't what the organization had originally decided. On March 1st, Lamont Roach Jr. took on Davis for the WBA super featherweight title. It was a tough fight, and by the end, Davis's perfect record was no more. He walked away with a majority draw. But the real controversy came in the 9th round. Out of nowhere, Davis dropped to a knee. Referee Tony Willis initially started a standing 10 count, but then ruled it not a knockdown. Fans were outraged, believing this decision cost Roach Jr. a rightful victory. Later, it was revealed that grease from Davis's hair had gotten into his eyes, affecting his vision. Still, the call had a major impact on the final score. A week after the fight, the New York State Athletic Commission stepped in, admitting that a technical issue had prevented officials from reviewing the replay, leaving the controversial moment unresolved.
You guys calm down. Listen to me. Hey, come on now. We're trying to get it. Get out in there one more time. There you go. That's what you have to do.
However, the review process only started after Roach's team submitted a formal request, which should have ideally led to the draw being overturned in Roach's favor. Meanwhile, a now-deleted article on the WBA website attempted to justify referee Tony Willis's decision. The article argued that, from their perspective, his call was neither unreasonable nor unfair. It also explained that Willis ruled in real time that Davis had not been hit by a punch before going down, so he determined it wasn't a knockdown.
What you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak on it.
Can't speak on that?
Yeah.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak on it.
No personal opinion, nothing?
The report also emphasized that judges are required to follow the referee's rulings. They have no authority to overturn a knockdown call. It went on to dismiss claims that Willis's decision unfairly favored Davis, stating, "We do not subscribe to that notion." However, once this report surfaced, the WBA faced heavy backlash, which may explain why it was later removed from their website. After the article's justification sparked even more controversy, WBA President Gilberto Mendoza Jr. stepped in and issued an official statement addressing the now-deleted report.
And it would be a lot of energy, a lot of things to do. I'd rather try to find a plan to do it. That's one thing I'll be noticing. Regarding the rest, I hope you can enjoy China when you're in the force of WBA China doing this convention.
WBA President Gilberto Mendoza Jr. responded to the controversy, clarifying that the deleted article was just an opinion from a website contributor and not an official stance of the organization. "Please stop misleading," Mendoza wrote. "He doesn't belong to any committee, nor does he have any influence or opinion in any matter of our association." Meanwhile, Roach voiced his frustration on Twitter, dismissing any claims that Davis simply had an off night. "Y'all tweaking if y'all think Buddy was off for some stuff or had an off night. That stuff is just different there with me," B wrote. "I told y'all from the start, just because I, and everybody else too, feel like I won, y'all acting like I said he was easy work or some stuff. The knockdown gives me a UD."
Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned was right. He took a knee. He took a knee.
You take a knee like that, that looks like a knockdown. All right? Back up. Back up.
That's a generous call from him.
Did he not take a knee?
Take the mouthpiece, took him out. That's right.
After the controversial majority draw, World Boxing Association President Gilberto Mendoza began pushing for an immediate rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. Mendoza believed the situation justified running it back. "I think there's not going to be any doubt about having a rematch on this," he told The Ring. "We need to send a strong message out there. If the WBA officially orders the fight, Davis and Roach would have 120 days to make it happen." Roach, who came in as a major underdog, now waits for his shot at redemption. Meanwhile, Davis, after facing heavy backlash online over the knee, insists he is open to a rematch. However, the future of the fight remains uncertain since Gervonta Davis's license has been revoked.
Oh, whoa. Of course, another comparison I don't want to make to Mike Tyson, but
Now that's crazy. That's what he do. He get dirty.
It looks like the report was either mistakenly published on the WBA website or was just a strongly opinionated take on the fight that the organization does not officially support. What really matters now is what the New York State Athletic Commission will decide. Will Davis be handed his first career loss, or will the so-called face of boxing walk away untouched because of his power and influence? That power and influence are major factors here, especially considering how much money the fight brought in. According to sources, Dan Rafael reports that Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. pulled in at least 260K pay-per-view buys, with one source estimating the number at 262K.
In this fight in the championship rounds.
nice right uppercut, left hook. Oh, another right hand, another right left by Roach. Davis fighting on even terms here in the 11th. Both of them have landed same amount of punches.
Roach still talking to Tank.
And Davis eats the body shot. And another left hook upstairs, right hand, left. Oh, but there's a counter left from Davis.
The decision is a majority draw.
Breaking down the numbers further, with the event priced at $79.95, the total pay-per-view revenue across all platforms in the United States reached $21 million. These figures include buys from Prime Video, PPV.com, and traditional cable and satellite pay-per-view services. Where the fight was available, the live attendance at the Barclays Center hit 19250, setting a new record for the venue in its 13-year history. This massive turnout helped Davis versus Roach generate the second largest live gate in the arena's history, bringing in nearly $7 million, a number only surpassed by a Rolling Stones concert. The pay-per-view sales for Davis vs. Roach rank as the fourth best among the 8 pay-per-view events Gervonta "Tank" Davis has headlined. The boxing world seems to have paused with Davis at the center of it. All eyes are on the WBA lightweight champion, and everyone around him is facing intense scrutiny. In a situation like this, every move must be carefully calculated. The WBA made a small misstep and is now working to control the fallout. Regardless of what happens next, one thing is certain: Lamont Roach still wants his win.
Obviously, the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is, like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
You jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him.
Even though nearly 3 weeks have passed, the boxing world is still buzzing about the WBA lightweight title fight between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach. The controversy surrounding the fight hasn't faded, especially with Davis taking a knee in the 9th round and having his face wiped in the corner, neither of which resulted in any penalties from referee Steve Willis. Beyond the fight itself, the ongoing war of words between Roach and Davis has only added to the drama since the fight ended. Roach has made multiple appearances on Big Time Podcast, pushing his stance that he should have been declared the winner rather than settling for a majority draw. This has kept the conversation about a potential rematch alive. Roach has also stayed active on social media, and on March 18th, he posted something that clearly got under the skin of Tank's fan base, which was likely his exact intention.
That, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed. He kind of rolled with it, but after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you could see me like...
Roach took to X to stir the pot, posting, "On some real stuff, why are some of you mad? Cause a lot of people think I won the fight. I'm confused, gang. What's going on? Did I do something to you guys?" The post quickly gained traction, racking up over 215k views and 425 comments in less than 2 days. This looks like a classic case of a fighter baiting his opponent's fan base to build hype for a rematch, and judging by the engagement and the flood of Davis fans in the comments, it clearly worked. Top Boxing coach Teddy Atlas also backed Roach's stance, breaking down the fight and highlighting what really went wrong in the 9th round. "I always say sometimes the safest place, believe it or not, is in the eye of the storm." Roach understood that you need the nerve, confidence, and mental togetherness to do it. He had all that, not just the size, reach, and ability. He had the nerve to go in there, which many can't, and not just survive, prosper, make hay, actually win in spots. Then what did he do? He started walking Tank down late in the fight.
He wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that.
Right.
That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee.
The legendary coach agreed with the boxing community, saying Lamont Roach was robbed of his victory. "Personally, I thought it was a close fight, not a major robbery. There were a lot of tight rounds, but I do believe Roach should have had his hand raised. That said, I'd need to watch it again. Tank had the edge in the early and middle rounds, landing solid shots, working the body, and doing what he does best. But Roach turned up the pressure in the later rounds, possibly doing enough to take the title or at least earn a draw. Around the 5th round, as you mentioned last night, Tank did something unusual. He started tapping Roach's gloves, saying, 'Hey bud, good round.' That's not like him. Tank usually fights with arrogance, with that cold-blooded, boogeyman energy. He doesn't give opponents hope. He crushes them. Yet, in that moment, he showed something different. I caught it right away, even though no other commentators pointed it out. I called it live on our watch-along stream. And trust me, Roach noticed it too."
He got away with it. But the sport let him get away with it. There's nothing wrong with the fighters. It's the administrators of this sport that there's a lot wrong with. And there is. And you see it. And we shouldn't keep seeing it. It's got to be stopped. A referee, that is not in the rule book. You get hit with a jab. I know there was a second or two in between. Sometimes you see a delay, knockdown, whatever. The punch didn't hurt him. I understand that. But he got hit a jab, and then a second, 2 seconds later, he takes a knee. Guess what? I'm sorry. That constitutes a knock.
Teddy Atlas continued, "If I'm in Roach's corner, and they did a great job, I'm pointing that out the second he sits down. I'd tell him, you're getting to this guy. He doesn't do that. That's a sign he's feeling the pressure. He's admitting you're making him uncomfortable. This is different tonight. You're making him vulnerable." I don't know if his corner actually said that, but maybe Roach felt it himself. You could see his confidence grow with every round. He started looking like the bigger, stronger fighter as the fight went on. And you're absolutely right. Tank tapping his gloves? Roach saw it, felt it, and understood exactly what it meant. Tank, in his own way, was giving in just a little. Now, I'm not exaggerating it, but when you're facing a guy known as a monster, an unbeatable, dangerous force, sometimes that little moment is all you need.
Around there, that's a knockdown. There is, again, we're not in football. There are no fair catches here. You know what I mean? And if it was, to your point last night when I said it, it would be a touchback. You know what I mean? It would, if you took a knee in a certain situation, it would be a touchback. You know, I mean, there were rules for a reason. Unless even Crawford came.
The legendary coach had high praise for Lamont Roach, pointing out a key moment in the fight. Suddenly, Tank showed a crack, and Roach saw it, felt it, and fed off it. He knew right then, I'm on the right path. I needed that confirmation. I'm getting to him. Tonight is different. And what did Roach do? He started pressing forward, backing Tank up. That's not easy to do, and honestly, it's something I'd be concerned about. But he did it the right way, staying tight on defense, working behind his jab, throwing sharp, straight punches. He took control. He became the boss in there. We all know the long-standing feud between Teddy Atlas and Mike Tyson, and sure enough, Atlas brought Tyson into the conversation. He compared Tank to a young Tyson, saying, when you rely on intimidation, and I'm not saying Tank does to that level, but Tyson did, if the other guy doesn't fold, the roles start to reverse. Suddenly, the intimidator becomes the one feeling the pressure. That's exactly what happened here. Roach fought an incredible fight. He walked into the lion's den and came out unscathed. He backed up Tank Davis. That alone is a win. He may not have taken Tank's belt, but last night, he proved he belongs. His stock just skyrocketed. And now, we're all waiting for the rematch.
Pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world, in the top 3 between him, Inoue, and Usyk, right? I got Usyk first. I got him and Inoue right there. I think Usyk deserves to be first after what he's done, putting together the heavyweight title, the whole thing, the whole shebang. But Crawford came out and said, I didn't know that was a rule. I guess I was sleeping when they passed that one. I guess I was taking a nap, or maybe I was out doing road work. He didn't say that, by the way. I'm just adding that to it. But I must have been busy doing something when that rule. That is not a rule. I said it earlier. This is not the Indianapolis 500. You can't go into pit row. That you need your oil.
Roach's fight didn't just impact him. It also had ripple effects on Tank Davis and even Jake Paul. A potential showdown between Davis and Paul has now fallen apart following Tank's controversial draw with Lamont Roach. Plans were in motion for an exhibition match between Davis and Paul after Paul's victory over Mike Tyson last November. However, reports suggest that negotiations were cut short after Davis's team pulled out due to the WBA lightweight champion's license being seized. Had Tank secured a decisive win over Roach, the fight with Paul likely would have been locked in for the summer. But with the bout ending in a majority draw, scorecards reading 115-113 for Davis and 114-114 twice, the big money matchup is now off the table.
Plays there, two quality fighters, short punches, putting them together on the inside, that's science. I know a lot of people say, no, Teddy, that's fire. That's offense. That's aggression. No, that's the sweet science. You can do the sweet science and be aggressive. You don't have to do it on the outside only. You don't have to do it only, with separation. You don't have to do it only.
Jake Paul was ringside at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, watching the drama unfold. But now, his future fight plans are in disarray as talks of a showdown with Gervonta Davis have collapsed. Instead, all focus is on the Davis vs. Roach rematch, which is being targeted for June 21st at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas or June 28th, with Atlanta or Miami as possible host cities. Before the fight, Davis had thrown down the challenge to Paul, saying, "Tell him this is my call-out." Jake Paul, what up? What up, Jake Paul? Paul didn't hesitate to fire back on social media, mocking Davis with, "Floyd's little son calling me out. Come on, little Tank. You know better." A sanctioned fight between them was always a long shot due to the massive weight difference. Davis competes around 135 pounds in the lightweight division, sometimes dropping to 130 pounds in super featherweight, while Paul fights at cruiserweight. For now, that fight seems off the table. All eyes are on the rematch.
Jake Paul, someone you'd want to take on at one point?
Yeah, tell him this is my call out. Jake Paul, what up? What up, Jake Paul?
12 rounds of action. We go to the scorecards. Judges at ringside, Max DeLuca and Manuel Hussein both scored about 119 to 109. Judge Tom Schreck scores at 120 to 108. All three in favor of the winner by unanimous.
This stands in stark contrast to Paul's cruiserweight frame, especially considering he weighed in at 227 pounds for his fight against Mike Tyson. The idea for Jake's crossover bout with Davis was inspired by his brother Logan's exhibition match with Floyd Mayweather in 2021. In that fight, Logan came in at 189.5 pounds, while Mayweather was significantly lighter at 155 pounds, a 34.5 pounds difference. A similar weight agreement was likely being considered for Davis versus Paul. Now, the big question remains, what are your thoughts on Tank's seized license? Do you think the WBA will overturn the decision and push forward with the rematch instead? That's it for now. For the latest updates, breaking news, and major moments in boxing, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on high-quality content like this. Until next time, peace.